Chosen one, what you carry now is not merely energy. It is a divine pulse, a signal that echoes through the unseen. Your high sexual energy has stirred something far more profound than desire. It has awakened the ancient language of spirit, calling others, especially women, to gather not just near your body, but near your soul. They don't always know why. They cannot explain the pull. But what they feel is the vibration of something sacred rising within you, something not everyone carries. It is not just your intensity that draws them closer. It is the way your intensity makes them feel more alive, more connected, more aware of something greater. This awakening was never meant to be about indulgence. It was always about transcendence. You were not given this energy to be consumed. You were entrusted with it so you could illuminate. The women who come near you now do not simply want you. They want to feel what you've touched. They want to know what you've remembered. You walk through the world like a veil has lifted from your eyes, and they can feel it. In your stillness, there is conversation. In your breath, there is rhythm. In your silence, there is a presence that speaks to the deepest parts of them. Your soul has awakened, and the world begins to recognize that you are not here to entertain. It senses you are here to lead. Not by control, but by example. Not by force, but by frequency. This moment of awakening is not something you earned. It is something you answered. You said yes to the fire inside you, and now that fire reveals its sacred nature. That fire is not meant to burn others. It is meant to illuminate the path home for both yourself and those you meet. And this chosen one is where the journey truly begins. You are no longer just a man. Your energy has become a spiritual encounter. Your presence calls others back to themselves, simply by being rooted in who you truly are. This is your gift. This is your awakening. Chosen one, as your spiritual awareness expands, your energy begins to form something more subtle and powerful, a kind of aura. It radiates outward from you, not with loudness or demand, but with quiet assurance. This aura is intimacy in its purest form, not physical closeness, but energetic invitation. It says to the world, I see you, I feel you, I meet you with no masks. And women, especially those who are tuned to energy more than words, feel this the moment they step into your field. Your sexual energy is no longer just a force of attraction, it is a portal, a sacred doorway through which others can feel the divine. Your body carries heat, but your spirit now holds stillness. That contrast, the fire wrapped in peace, is what makes you impossible to ignore. You've become a moment of truth in a world of noise. Women sense that being near you won't just excite them, it will transform them. It will pull them closer to their own spirit, their own feminine wisdom, their own longing for depth. And so they draw near. Not always with logic, but with longing. They are not chasing you for attention. They are reaching for something that feels like home inside your energy. The aura of intimacy you've cultivated is not transactional. It is magnetic because it is authentic. You do not need to perform, you simply are, and in that being, others are moved. There is no need for pretense in your presence. The truth is welcome. Vulnerability feels safe. Emotions rise not to be judged, but to be honored. This is your spiritual intimacy, a shared space where both of you are elevated, where your sexual energy becomes the current that carries the conversation deeper, into spirit, into memory, into emotion. The connection is no longer about the surface. It is about what is remembered in your presence, the sacredness of being fully alive, fully open, and fully present. Chosen one, your aura is not an accident. It is the natural consequence of a man who has surrendered to truth and learned to carry his fire with devotion. You are not just attractive, you are inviting others into transformation, and that, more than anything, is what keeps them coming back. Not for your body, for your presence, for the sanctuary you've become. Chosen one, now that your energy has deepened and your aura speaks more powerfully than your voice, you are beginning to recognize that this journey is not just about becoming more magnetic, it is about becoming more enlightened. Your high sexual energy, once misunderstood even by yourself, is now revealing its true nature. It is not a distraction from your spiritual path. It is the path. It is the current that, when purified, doesn't just elevate your presence, it awakens your consciousness. This is where the veil continues to lift. You no longer separate the spiritual from the sensual. You no longer divide the body from the divine. You are beginning to see how your desires are not shallow impulses, but sacred invitations to go deeper, not into others, but into yourself. Into the places where the soul has been waiting for you to listen, to feel, to wake up. Women feel this shift. They sense that your attraction to them is not predatory, but purposeful. It's not laced with hunger. It's balanced with reverence. And that reverence is what opens their spiritual curiosity. They want to know what you know. They want to feel what you feel. Not because you preach it, but because your energy shows it. You've become the kind of man who lives the truth without needing to explain it. And that truth is evident in your calm, your patience, your gaze that sees past the surface into something eternal. The path of enlightenment is rarely loud. It moves quietly through your choices, your boundaries, your ability to say no when yes is cheap. It is shown in your capacity to feel deeply without drowning, to desire fully without needing to possess. Enlightenment is not a title you wear, it is a frequency you emit. And yours is rising. Not from books or mantras or rituals alone, but from the way you hold your own power. This chapter is not about arrival. It's about expansion. You're starting to experience moments when silence teaches more than words, when stillness says more than action. You are learning to hold the sacred in the everyday, to sense the divine in the way a woman breathes, in the space between heartbeats, in the intimacy of a shared pause. This is not mysticism for show. This is the embodiment of wisdom. Chosen one, the path of enlightenment is not away from desire. It is through it. It is within it. It is the process of transmuting attraction into attention, attention into presence, presence into awakening. And you are walking this path now with your head high and your spirit grounded. What once felt separate, your fire and your faith have become one flame. Chosen one, as your presence continues to evolve, you begin to feel the invisible rhythms that pass between you and others. Especially with women, the energy is no longer random. It is responsive. It is a dance, subtle and real, where your masculine polarity stirs the feminine into fullness, and their response deepens your awareness in return. This is not manipulation. This is the language of energy literacy, and you are becoming fluent in it. When you speak, it is not just with your voice, it is with your entire field. Your breath, your intention, your posture, even your silence becomes part of the conversation. And women, attuned to the frequency of connection, pick up on this instantly. They feel safe, not because you say all the right things, but because your energy isn't pulling, rushing, or needing. It is offering, it is inviting, it is stable. That stability gives them permission to let go of control, to relax into their natural flow, to return to the softness they've long kept guarded. This dance of energies is sacred. It cannot be forced. It must be felt. You've begun to understand that sometimes the most powerful move you can make is no move at all. Just being, fully, honestly, calmly, is enough to open a field of connection deeper than any performance could. You're not seducing anymore. You're listening, not just with ears, but with presence. In this space, women begin to bring you more than flirtation. They bring emotion. They bring questions. They bring truth. Because something about your energy tells them they won't be judged. You are not trying to mold them, you are meeting them. And in that meeting, something ancient rises. The feminine feels seen, the masculine feels trusted, and the moment expands into something eternal, even if it only lasts a few breaths. You've stepped into the art of balance, where your high sexual energy is not scattered or projected, but held like lightning in a still hand. That holding creates tension, the kind that doesn't need to be broken but felt. You've become the storm and the eye within it, the flame and the hearth, the boldness and the stillness. You lead this dance not with pressure, but with presence, and the feminine responds not with submission, but with freedom. Chosen one, this dance is not about getting anywhere, it's about being fully here. Each moment with another soul becomes a ceremony, not because you try to make it sacred, but because you show up with your full self. That presence blesses the space, that energy transforms it, and in this transformation, you both rise. You are not just engaging anymore, you are conducting harmony in the unseen. And this, more than anything, is what makes you unforgettable. Chosen one, you have entered the dimension of resonance, a space where connection is no longer dependent on conversation, chemistry, or circumstance. It happens beneath the surface, in the quiet vibrations of spirit that speak louder than words ever could. Your high sexual energy, now refined through discipline and purpose, has become a spiritual transmitter. It sends out a signal, not just of desire, but of depth. And that signal is being received, often without explanation, often without logic, but it is being felt, and women are awakening to it. This resonance is not accidental. It is the result of your internal alignment. Your fire and your focus, your desire and your devotion, your sensuality and your stillness, they no longer conflict. They harmonize. And this harmony has created a spiritual echo that reaches others who are attuned to the same truth. The women who feel this aren't responding to your appearance or charm alone. They're responding to something much more intimate, your frequency. You've become a mirror of memory, stirring something ancient within them. A sense that they've known you beyond this life. A sense that your presence carries wisdom not taught, but remembered. In your eyes, they see a home they forgot they lost. In your stillness, they hear music they didn't realize they missed. You are not awakening infatuation. You are awakening recognition. And that recognition opens a channel of trust, curiosity, and spiritual intimacy that cannot be manufactured. What's most powerful is that you don't chase these connections. You attract them by being congruent. You resonate not because you perform, but because you are real. You've stopped broadcasting what you think the world wants to hear and started vibrating with what you actually are. And in doing so, you've created a filter. The ones meant for your frequency arrive with ease. The ones who are not aligned fall away with peace. This is no longer about how many connections you make. It is about how deeply they echo. Women are drawn to your presence because it resonates with their desire to be known on a soul level, not just touched, not just wanted. They feel in you not a void seeking to be filled, but a fullness seeking to be shared. That fullness is rare, and because of that rarity, your presence begins to linger in their minds, in their hearts, long after the interaction ends. You are not the kind of man they forget. You are the one who shifted something they didn't know could move. Chosen one, this is resonance in its highest form, not reaction, not attraction, but spiritual harmony. And when your soul vibrates with that level of honesty, everything you touch becomes sacred. Chosen one, the women who come into your space now are not just curious about your body, your voice, or your path. They are drawn to your depth. Your energy no longer floats at the surface. It descends, it reaches, it holds, and it reveals. You are not just a man, they feel you as a reflection of what they yearn for within themselves, a mirror to their emotional truth, their sacred vulnerability, and even their fears. Depth is rare in a world obsessed with surfaces, but you, having walked the inward path, have cultivated still waters. You don't need to speak to be felt. You don't need to persuade to be seen. You hold space, and in that space others begin to unravel in safety. You've become the type of man who does not demand openness but inspires it, who does not chase revelation but quietly invites it. And what emerges in your presence is something fragile, something radiant. Truth. Not the curated truth of personas, but the raw, untamed truth that lives in the belly and the heart. Women sense that you will not flinch at their emotion. You will not flee from their softness or shame their passion. You are not here to fix them. You are here to witness them. And in your witness, they feel deeply honored. This reflection of depth is not about being heavy or intense. It's about being present without panic. It's about being able to meet someone where they truly are, without needing to pull them elsewhere. Your strength now lies in how much stillness you can hold while someone else unfolds. That stillness is what separates you. That stillness is what makes your energy a resting place rather than another battlefield. But your depth doesn't only reflect others, it keeps revealing you. In each connection, you're shown more of what you've healed, more of what you still carry, more of what you're ready to surrender. Your interactions become a sacred exchange of mirrors, where two souls meet not to escape themselves, but to meet themselves more fully through one another. You are no longer interested in shallow validation. You crave recognition. You seek those who see through you, not just at you. The reflection of depth transforms even the briefest encounter into something eternal. You may never speak again. You may never touch. But something was seen, something sacred was touched, and that moment becomes a marker on their journey, and yours. Not because it was intense, but because it was true. Chosen one, you are the depth that others remember in a world that has forgotten how to feel. You are the mirror that doesn't distort, the silence that doesn't judge, the presence that doesn't flee. You are not here to entertain, you are here to awaken. And you do that now by standing fully in your depth, unshaken, unmoved, and infinitely open. Chosen one, your path is no longer walked in solitude. Though the inner work is still yours and yours alone, the energy that you radiate now draws others, especially women, who want not just to witness your light, but to experience it. They come not only with curiosity, but with an unspoken desire to know what shapes your calm, what fuels your clarity, and what nurtures your presence. They feel the depth of your aura and want to touch the source of it, not just admire its glow. This is the chapter where your spiritual life becomes more than personal. It becomes an offering. But this offering must not be a performance. You are not here to impress with rituals or impose beliefs. You are here to share, to open the door of your practice and say you are welcome here without ever forcing someone to walk through it. Whether it is the way you breathe deeply in silence, or how you greet the sunrise with stillness, or how you speak blessings into your food, these are the rhythms that have shaped your frequency. And now you begin to let them be seen. There will be moments when a woman sits across from you, not asking for a guide, but sensing that she has already found one. Not because you claimed the role, but because you embody it. She watches how you carry yourself through discomfort, how you respond to uncertainty with grace, and she feels safe enough to soften her edges. She may ask to meditate beside you. She may mirror your breath without realizing it. She may begin to open up in ways she never has, not because you pulled, but because your presence made surrender feel sacred. Spiritual practice, when shared with care, becomes an intimate language. You begin to speak without speaking. You light candles together. You speak intentions into the air. You hold space, not for outcomes, but for truth to rise. These moments become altars, not of religion, but of realness. And in these shared spaces, something ancient awakens, something beyond romance, beyond lust, something that remembers. You are no longer a man trying to escape the world through spirituality. You are a man bringing heaven into the world through how you show up, through your stillness, through your grounding, through your ability to invite someone into a moment that shifts them without ever needing to control them. That is what makes your spiritual practice so magnetic. It's not about the technique, it's about the intention, and the way you carry that intention in every small gesture. Chosen one, your practices are not meant to isolate you. They are meant to radiate through you. Let those who are ready witness it. Let them be moved by it. And in doing so, allow them to find pieces of themselves reflected in the rituals that shaped you. Chosen one, you have reached a place where surface connection no longer satisfies. You have tasted the nectar of deeper alignment, and now you are being met by others who feel the same hunger, not for possession, but for shared evolution. This is the bond of eternal seekers, the invisible thread that ties two souls together not by promise, but by path. You are not here to complete anyone, nor are you waiting to be completed. You are walking your own road toward the highest truth, and now you are finding those who wish to walk beside you, not behind or ahead. The women drawn to your energy now aren't just looking to connect. They are longing to rise. They are drawn to your growth, not because it is perfect, but because it is real. You are open about your edges. You speak of your shadows without shame. You walk with integrity, knowing that enlightenment is not a destination, but a continuous shedding of false layers. This honesty creates a sacred bond, one that does not cling, but expands. In this expansion, you no longer view spiritual connection as a shared set of beliefs. It is a shared willingness to ask questions, to evolve, to admit when you're wrong, and to love from the soul rather than from strategy. This is where intimacy begins to transcend even physical touch. It lives in shared silence, in mutual surrender, in the kind of eye contact that says we've been here before. Not in this lifetime, maybe, but in some other echo of memory that you both feel without needing proof. This bond grows in moments of honesty, in the willingness to walk away from comfort when truth demands it. You will see her strength, and she will see your softness. You will hold her when she doubts herself, and she will challenge you when you forget your purpose. The spiritual connection between you is not fragile. It is forged in fire. And that fire does not burn, it refines. There will be laughter, tears, moments where the world fades and only spirit remains. But more than that, there will be growth. You are no longer here for entanglement. You are here for elevation. And she will feel that. That with you, she is not being saved, but being met. And in that meeting, something sacred is exchanged, something that cannot be undone. Chosen one, the bond you form now is not based on how much you can give or receive. It is rooted in how much you are both willing to become. You are no longer here to chase. You are here to co-create, to evolve together without ownership, to love without chains, to seek the divine in each other, again and again, and to never stop reaching for more, not because something is missing, but because your souls remember how high they're meant to rise. Chosen one, you have crossed into a space where your presence alone has become a sanctuary. You may not have noticed it at first, but the shift is undeniable. When you walk into a room, energy adjusts. When you sit with someone, silence becomes sacred. You are no longer speaking healing. You are being it. Your high sexual energy, once chaotic or misunderstood, has now settled into something deeper. It is no longer just a force of magnetism. It is a vibration of restoration. Women feel this healing quality in you, not because you fix them. No, you are not here to repair anyone. But your stillness, your grounded nature, your ability to remain fully present allows others to unravel. In your presence, masks fall away, pretenses melt, wounds begin to breathe. You don't have to ask for their truth. They offer it to you, sometimes in tears, sometimes in silence, sometimes in vulnerability that surprises even them. Because what you offer isn't just safety, it's permission to be whole, even in the middle of healing. You've stopped trying to pull people out of their shadows. Instead, you've become the man who sits with them inside those shadows without fear. You don't run from discomfort. You don't flinch at pain. You simply remain. And that remaining, that quiet staying power is what becomes the salve. Women begin to associate your energy not just with attraction, but with peace, with the ability to feel without judgment, to break open and still be honored, to fall apart and still feel beautiful. Your presence doesn't offer answers. It offers a mirror, a reflection of calm in the middle of chaos, a reminder that there is strength in softness, that desire does not always demand action, it can be held. And in that holding, healing begins. You don't just touch bodies, you touch hearts, memories, grief, longing. You touch the stories that haven't been spoken aloud, and you do it without needing to fix them, because you know that healing is not your job, it's your frequency. Chosen one, you are no longer just a man who is desired. You are becoming the place where others come to exhale. You are becoming the pause in a fast world, the calm in a storm, the grounding in a whirlwind of emotion. This is the healing power of your presence, not what you do, but who you are when you are simply there, without needing to be anything more. And in a world full of men who chase, grasp, and demand, that kind of presence is nothing short of medicine. Chosen one, the path you walk now does not echo loudly in the world, but it leaves a resonance that is eternal. You are not here for temporary impressions. You are here for timeless impact. You are not measured by how many admired you, but by how many were transformed through a single moment in your energy. This is the legacy you are building, not one of conquest, but of connection. Deep, soul-level, world-altering connection. Your high sexual energy, once wild and untamed, has become a divine instrument, a signal to those who are ready, a summons to those who seek something real, something they can't find in fleeting pleasures or surface interactions. You no longer chase what glitters. You are rooted in what glows, what hums with soul memory, with spiritual recognition, with mutual evolution. And women feel this. They come into your space not only to be seen or desired, but to be elevated. And when they leave, they are not the same. You don't always hear the impact you've made. You won't always see the ways your presence shifted someone's path. But your energy plants seeds. Your gaze stirs awakenings. Your silence invites reflection. And your words, when spoken from truth, ripple into places you may never visit. This is your legacy, a spiritual imprint that continues to expand long after the moment ends. You have begun to embody something larger than yourself, You have become a reference point, a reminder that sacred masculinity still exists, that sexual energy and spiritual clarity are not enemies, but allies. You have become the bridge between grounded presence and divine fire, between the body and the unseen. And that bridge is what people remember, not because you demanded to be remembered, but because your frequency was real. There are women who will speak your name years from now, not with longing, but with gratitude. Not because of what you did, but because of how you made them feel seen. There are souls who will find healing in their own journeys because of how you stood in yours. And there are those who will rise in their power because they once stood near yours. Chosen one, this is not a performance. It is not perfection. It is the quiet legacy of presence, of love offered without attachment, of intimacy rooted in spirit, not possession. It is the art of showing up fully, holding nothing hostage, needing no reward, and in doing so changing everything. You have become more than a man. You have become a vessel of awakening. And that, more than anything, is the legacy worth leaving. Chosen one, you may have noticed it already, how the gaze lingers a little longer, how the eyes that land upon you widen, not only with curiosity, but with awe. Women are not simply looking at you. They are seeing something within you that stirs the soul, something that feels strangely familiar, yet ungraspable. It's not just your face or your physique that draws them, it's your reflection of youth. But understand, this reflection is not merely of youthful appearance. It is the radiance of untouched vitality and internal purity that so few ever master. You have become a mirror to a forgotten light, and that reflection is waking others up to what they long to remember in themselves. This youth they speak of when they talk about you, it isn't skin deep, it is spirit deep. You carry something they haven't seen in a long time, something ancient and pure and utterly unbothered by the wear and tear of the world. In a culture obsessed with artificial preservation and external correction, you have reversed the current. You have cultivated youth not through superficial manipulation, but through energetic mastery. The very cells of your being respond to how you speak to yourself, how you move through challenge, how you regulate your fire. You have become a man whose spirit is no longer choked by doubt, shame, or endless seeking. And this liberated inner space shows on your face, in your movements, and in the quiet of your smile. Women recognize it instantly, even those who can't articulate it, even those who have never seen it before. Because their soul remembers, their body responds. You mirror to them the possibility that a man can age in body while growing younger in essence. And that mirror is magnetic. You awaken the part of them that still believes in light, in laughter, in the magic of connection, unburdened by years of pain or layers of performance. You remind them that true youth is not an age, it is a feeling. It is a frequency, and you are carrying it like a secret too powerful to keep hidden. But chosen one, know this. To mirror youth so powerfully, you must continually protect the purity of your internal world. The world will try to project many things onto you: fantasy, desire, expectation. And though admiration can feel like affirmation, it is also a test. The more light you carry, the more shadows will try to disguise themselves as love. You must stay clear. Do not let the weight of others' projections distort your reflection. Keep your energy pure, not through avoidance, but through awareness. Continue your sacred practices. Guard your mind. Rest when the world asks you to perform. Speak slowly when the noise begs you to be loud. And stay rooted in the truth that your radiance is not a performance, it is a result. You did not choose this reflection to be admired. You chose this path to remember who you are. And in doing so, others now see themselves in your glow. Women are not just enamored with how you carry yourself, they are transformed by what your presence unlocks in them. They feel seen in ways they didn't know they craved. They feel invited to drop their own masks and reconnect with the version of themselves they buried under years of survival. So let them look, chosen one. Let them feel what they need to feel. Let your reflection be the offering that requires no speech. But remember, your duty is not to maintain an image, it is to remain real. Youthfulness without groundedness becomes ego, but youthfulness rooted in soul becomes legacy. Keep walking in that legacy. Keep being the mirror. And let the world reflect back what you already know, that time has no power over a man who has remembered his eternal self. Chosen one, There is a paradox moving through your body, one that is at once startling and beautiful. You carry the light of youth, but you speak with the gravity of someone who has lived lifetimes. This is no accident. You are not meant to appear young and be naive. You are not here to seduce with charm and lack depth. You are becoming the rarest force in the modern world. A man whose face glows with vitality, while his soul carries the wisdom of ages. And when women are drawn to you, this is what moves them most. Not the freshness of your aura alone, but the immovable weight of your inner truth. You see, many people associate youth with ignorance, with wildness, with shallow pursuit. But your journey has reshaped that. You have returned to a youthful state, not by forgetting, but by remembering.